Hello there. I hope I'm audible. Am I? Confirm the audio and the video once. All right. So who all are here? Cool. So yesterday on the grad school platform, we did Kavya, one of my colleagues. So he did ratios and proportions, all the basic stuff about it. And today I'll be covering more such, um, what do I say, aspects, more aspects of ratios and proportions. So we'll go one by one. All right. Hello, Gaurav. Hello, Sanjog. Is my voice and the visuals all okay? Are they? They're all okay, right? Okay, cool then. So let's start without further ado. So first thing first, what exactly are proportions? So if I have, let's say, A upon B, my screen is visible properly. I'll just write it again. All okay? That's cool. So let's say I have something like A upon B, is equal to C by D. That's kind of proportion. But, what is important here? There's something which has been done already. What is important here is continued proportion. That's what I want you to understand. Okay. So if I write like this, A upon B is equal to B upon C. So what do I see here? That in the first ratio, in the ratio, we don't call numerator and denominator. We call it antecedent and consequent. So the consequent of first is same as antecedent of the second one, right? That is what we can see over here, isn't it? Right? So in this case, if I try to solve it, I'll get B square is equal to AC, or I can simply say B is equal to square root of AC. That is one thing. Now, before discussing this further, before dissecting this further, I want you to see something. So let's take a normal ratio. A upon B is equal to C upon D is equal to, let's say, E upon F, and so on. Right. So the normal nomenclature is A will be called as the first proportional. All right. B will be called as similarly second proportional. C is the third proportional, and so on. D is the fourth proportional, and so on. That is the exact proportion. Okay, this is what proportions basically means. But in the case of continued proportion, what exactly happens? The second proportional, which is B in this case, the second proportional becomes the square root of product of the first and the third proportional. Understood? So second proportional is the square root of the product of the first and the third proportional. In the similar fashion, let's say I have something like this. A upon B is equal to B upon C is equal to C upon D. Here I can see three different ratios, right? So the second proportional, that is P, is basically the square root of product of first and third, all right? And the third proportional, that is C, is equal to the product square root of product of the second and the fourth proportional. All right, is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? And in algebra, we call such values as geometric mean. So what exactly is geometric mean? Geometric mean. So let's say I have two values. Okay, two values, x and y. I multiply them and take their square root. That is the geometric mean, nothing else. So in algebra, what we call as geometric mean geometric mean. In the case of ratios, we call them mean proportionals. Is that understood, everyone? So we won't be discussing the geometric mean here because that is not relevant to today's session. What is relevant is mean proportionals. You'll be seeing something like this again in algebra when I'll be discussing the geometric means. Is that clear? Till this point of time, everything is clear? Yes or no? All right, understood? Got it? So all in all, those have joined recently, just now, I'll just give a quick recap of what I have done. So A by B is equal to C by D is equal to E by F and so on. These are basically proportions. The moment we write something like this, A by B is equal to B by C is equal to C by D, this is known as continued proportion. All right. And in the case of continued proportion, the second proportional, that is B, is equal to the square root of product of first and third proportional, and we call that the mean proportional. So if in case someone asks what is the mean proportional of B and D, you will write it's C. Okay, that is one thing. Now, whenever we have, see, continued proportions are very popular, very familiar, and they are the most, this is how most of the questions in CAT of or any other MBA entrance exams are asked. So the hack here is, the trick here is that if you have something like this, A upon B is equal to B upon C is equal to C upon D is equal to D upon E, and so on, then what has to be done to solve it? So in that case, we will just assume that they are equal to K. That's an assumption. All right. And what is K here? K is known as the constant of proportionality. All right. So now we are discussing the constant of proportionality. So K is an arbitrarily chosen constant. We just choose it out of nowhere. Now, when we do that, what exactly happens? Let's see. So can I say that D becomes K times E? Yes, that's fine. C becomes K times D, right? That's also fine. B becomes K times C and A becomes K times B. So we do that so that all the elements in the given question are, they look similar. Now, are they looking similar? Not really. So what can we do? I can just write everything in terms of K and E. How do I do that? So as you see, the D is equal to KE. If I put the value of D here in terms of E, I'll get, what do I get? I get K times KE, which gives me K square E. Cool. And in a similar fashion, if I replace C with K square E, I would get K cube E. And here I'll get K to the power 4 times E. Is that clear, everyone? So if someone asks you, what is the value of A plus B plus C plus D plus E? So instead of writing it like this, we can just write it in such a way that I'll just take E common. I'm left with K to the power 4 plus K cube plus K square. All right, plus K plus 1. Do you understand this now? And this is the reason why mean, proportional, and geometric mean come into picture. So as you see, we're discussing this more in algebra. This is nothing but a geometric progression, right? So this is the exact point at which arithmetic and algebra somehow make a link. Moreover, I always say that algebra is the mother of all mathematics. In fact, you will be surprised to know I also say that algebra is the mother of everything. Everything. We'll discuss that in the upcoming sessions and in the future of CAT preparation. But right now, did you somehow it rings a bell? Somehow it makes sense all of a sudden that we can just write everything in terms of the last proportional here. E is the fifth proportional. We have five elements over here. The last proportional and the constant of proportionality. Is that cool? Is that clear, everyone? Hope it's clear, everyone. All right. Tell me in the comments. Now, let's understand the next part. By the way, if you have looked at the description of this YouTube session, yes, Aditya, it can. And if you look at the description of this session, I have given proper timestamps. You know why I have done that? Because I value my time and I value your time as well. So जो भी timestamps हैं, what timestamps are there? Now it's 10 minutes, okay, into the session. And 10th minute pay, we are starting direct variations, and that is what we're going to do. Okay, so it will always, whenever you want to look at this session, you can just go to timestamps and get going. All right, so now it's the time for direct variations. So before I move on to direct variations, I want to tell you something. First of all, variations in mathematics, what exactly it means. So I'll just give you a live example of it, a philosophical example. So there are, let's say, two people, person A and person B. For sake of simplicity, I made the first person to be boy, second person to be girl. Now, what all kind of relations can they have? The multiple relations: sister, mother, wife, daughter, girlfriend, etc., etc., etc. Just a friend. Now, but let us try to kind of make it binary so that people are either friends or enemies. Now, friends and enemies. So your sister can be your friend, sister can be your enemy, right? So I'm just classifying every relation into friends and enemies. So can you say that friends are those people when someone becomes happy? Let me use this emoji. When someone becomes happy, other also becomes happy, right? When someone becomes sad, other also becomes sad. That is friendship. In case of enmity, if someone becomes happy, the enemy becomes sad, right? If someone becomes sad, the enemy becomes happy, isn't it? So just making it as simple as possible, these are two kind of relations. All right. All right. Is that clear? So basically, as you see that their emotions, the emotions of happiness and sadness, they're just changing. So emotions are changing. Because they are changing, we call them variables. We call them variables. All right. All right. Now, there's also a possibility that there are two people. There are two people. Okay. One is this. Look at his face. It's neutral. And the other person is this. Okay. Now, what happens if this guy becomes happy? This guy remains neutral. If this guy becomes sad, this guy still remains neutral. This guy gets elated. This guy still neutral. This guy is angry. This is still neutral. So what is exactly happening over here? What exactly is happening? That this guy is changing. So this guy has variable emotions, right? We call them variables in mathematics. And this guy, it's not changing at all. Let's call them constants. So here we understand that the entire mathematics is made up of variables and constants. Is that clear? And you cannot have a relation with a constant, right? You can have relations only with the variables. And the relations in life are known as variations in mathematics. Is that clear? Understood? Understood. But the most important part here is that constants are very, very, very important, because without constants, you cannot have a relation. You can't have a relation. How would you love a girl if you don't have something to compare, right? So I'll give you a very basic and simplistic idea about life. So every time you fall in love, you feel that this person is better than our previous relationship. Yes or no? We feel that. And why do we feel that? Because we have some kind of frame of reference, with some kind of comparison, someone to compare with. So that comparison keeps on becoming constants. Now, when I say that, it happens at times that some variables become constants, constants become variables. We'll go into that. The more we study, more we will understand. So And that is the reason the constant also of two types. One is called the arbitrary constant, which I used. So arbitrary constants are basically conditional. They belong to one specific condition. Other are universal constants, which are, as the name says, universal. They never change. For example, constant of gravitation, right? G, mu, permeability of a medium, the medium. All those things are universal constants. And when we use the arbitrary constant, we normally use K, C, etc. So these are conditional. These belong to one particular condition. For example, if I want to establish relation between two entities, let's say X and Y, I'll use an arbitrary constant. I cannot use a gravity constant of gravity or something else, right? Is that clear, everyone? So let's understand in terms of mathematics what exactly happens. So we have two variables X and Y. If one becomes happy, other becomes happy. One becomes sad, other becomes sad. In a way, if one increases, other also increases. If one decreases, other also decreases. That is known as direct variation, or simply speaking, friends. Is that clear? I'm pretty sure that you would not have looked at this kind of philosophical or simplistic observation in mathematics ever, or have you? Tell me in the comments. Be quick. Does that make sense? Enough sense? Okay. Now, the other thing is X and Y are inversely proportional. That is how we write it. Okay. So if Y, let's say, increases, X will decrease. If Y decreases, X will increase. Is that cool? So let's understand that what is this amount of increase or decrease. So Y, let's say, if it increases by A%, X will also increase by A%. If Y decreases by A%, X will also decrease by A%. Cool. And in case of inverse proportionality, if Y increases by A%, X will decrease by A upon 100 plus A%. This is something which people normally confuse. And if Y decreases by A%, X will increase by A upon 100 minus A%. Seems weird. Now, how to remember that? To remember it, we'll just understand one particular thing. A upon 100 plus A. So we are adding something to 100, something to A, right? So if we are adding something in denominator, the fractional value reduces. Here I am subtracting. So if I subtract something, the fractional value increases. That is how you can remember it, right? Now, having said that, let's see what all things are possible here. Inverse में neighbor आ जाएगा. All right. So the first thing first, this one. So if I want to make an equation, I'll just write equal to and replace this alpha sign with k, which is the arbitrarily chosen constant. X will be equal to ky. All right. And in the second case, X will be equal to k upon y. Perfect. Now, this also means X upon y is equal to k. And this means X multiplied by y is equal to k. Now, having said that, as I told you, X and Y are variables while k is a constant. So variables can take multiple values, right? So it is possible that X becomes X1. If X becomes X1, Y will also change. Y becomes Y1. If X becomes X2, Y becomes, let's say, Y2. Okay, if X becomes X3, Y becomes Y3, and so on up to, let's say, X becomes Xn, Y becomes Yn. So whenever we divide the values of X and Y at any particular situation, we will always get K as the constant. And in the second case, X1, Y1 is equal to X2, Y2, and so on till Xn, Yn. This will always be equal to K. Now, what do we see here? What exactly do we see here? We see here that these values are nothing but the quotients. What is a quotient? Quotients are what you obtain to divide something by something. So X when divided by Y, you get the quotient. The quotients are constants. In this case, the products. These are products, right? Products are constants. Now, if I want to summarize all of it, I can say one thing and tell me, can I say that? If two variables are in direct proportion, their quotients will be constant. And the reverse of it, if I say, if the quotient of two variables is constant, then they are in direct proportion. In the similar fashion, if I say, if two variables are in inverse proportion, their products will be constant. Vice versa, if the product of two variables is constant, they will be in inverse proportion. Can I say that? So constants are very important. Due to constants only, variables have relationships. Is that clear now, everyone? So all in all, the main thing that we need to write down over here is indirect variation, quotients are constant, or I can say the constants are quotients, right? Similarly, here I can say in inverse variation, product is constant, or when the constant is product, it's inverse variation. Is that clear, everyone? I don't see enough comments over here. Come on, tell me. Is that cool? Is that clear? Don't you see that this is something, I won't say it's new, but it's a very new and very fabulous and kind of interesting way to look at, right? Now, if you are not still interested and you are not still uh, excited, let me put this into perspective. So what I tell you, I always tell you, if you know me, that I always tell you that there is no need of remembering, cramming up any formula. We can create all the formula whenever you want to, be it mathematics, physics, chemistry. Instead, um, you know, um, in fact, all the formula of physics and chemistry are derived by this only. Now you will say how. I'll tell you how. So let's try to derive a formula and let us understand. But this is going to help you see percentage and ratio. If I combine this, forms the entire fundamentals of entire arithmetic. So let's deal with a few variables. There is a variable called distance. And now you will understand when I said that some variables can become constants. Then we have speed. And then we have time. All right. Now I want to develop a formula. So what do I need? I just need basic knowledge that what is distance, what is speed, what is time. And that basic knowledge is what we already have, don't we? Distance we know, speed we know, and time we know. So let's try to kind of make a logical thought process of it. So the logical thought is, I see one thing, that this is my home and this is my office, my home and my office. And I see that every day, I have to go to office. Okay. And then I need to return back. Okay. Okay. So I saw one day that I was traveling at 50 kilometers per hour, 50 kilometers per hour, and I took half an hour. All right. And next day, I saw something else. I traveled at 25 kilometers per hour. It took me 1 hour. Wow. Now, there's something for this. You don't require mathematics. This is a simple observation. So now, when I observe this, so I am thinking that, okay, what exactly is happening? If I reduce the speed, time increases, isn't it? If I reduce the speed, time increases. What does that mean? That means speed and time should be in inverse proportion. Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you understand that? See, I am a layman. I don't know mathematics. I just know that I understand the meaning of distance, speed, and time. And I just saw this and I felt this observation. And then I attended Abhishek sir's class. And he told me, bro, this is how it happens. So everything has got a relation. Just need to know the relations. And I'm like, okay. So I saw this grad school YT channel class. And now I can see that speed and time has got a relationship. When I travel faster, I take less time. So is it like speed and time are inverse proportion? Okay, if that is the case, then let's try to derive a formula. So I will just try to multiply speed and time and equate it to some arbitrarily chosen constant. Now, when I multiply that, I see one more. I observe something more, and it's like 50 multiplied by half and 25 multiplied by 1. Wow. So my assumption was exactly true because both give me 25. This 25 is the constant. And what was this constant? Then I tried to analyze more, and I saw that the distance between my home and office was actually 25 kilometers. So now I know the formula. So whatever was constant here was nothing but distance. So now I know that speed multiplied by time gives me distance. Wow, I got a formula. Is that clear? I got a formula. Well, and I also realized one thing, that if somehow the distance from my home to office keeps on changing every day, I won't be able to derive any formula. Would I be able to? Tell me in the comments. If somehow, which is impractical, the distance between my office and home keeps on changing every day, I won't be having a fixed formula, guys, right? I won't. So to make it mathematical, I'm saying that two variables can be in relation if and only if there has to be a constant. There is a constant. And in this case, constant was distance. So I can just write in terms of variations. If distance is constant, speed and time are in inverse proportion. This is gonna hold true. Or I can say S1 upon S2 should be equal to T2 upon T1. Wow, this is such a brilliant idea, right? Similarly, so what all things can I derive? Okay, now now I'm not going to my office. I'm just going anywhere. Okay, so I am a vagabond. I start from my home, okay, on my bike, and I just kind of drive it, my hair flowing, and I'm driving. Okay, now what happens? I'm driving at 50 kilometers per hour. I drove for 1 hour. Okay, the second scenario, I drove for 2 hours. So what I could see that in the first scenario, I drove for 50 kilometers. In second scenario, I drove for 100 kilometers. Now I can see what is changing. Time is changing, distance is changing, but speed remains constant. Wow. So I'll be having something. And I can see one thing more here, that if I increase the time, distance also increases. They are increasing both at once. That means they are in direct variation. So distance and time must be in direct variation. Okay. Which means T1 upon D2 should be equal to T1 upon T2. Is that happening? Yes, absolutely. So 50 upon 100 is equal to 1 upon 2. Yes, that's happening. So I'm really satisfied. Okay. So this forms a kind of an variation thing. But there has to be a constant, guys. What's that constant? Let's see. That constant is, needless to say, the speed here. So speed becomes constant in this case. So I can write, if speed is constant, distance and time are directly proportional. In similar fashion, if time is constant, distance and speeds are in direct proportion. Now, do you understand that all the formulae, not all, majority of formulae ever made by mankind were dependent on the relationship between two variables, provided there is some kind of constant. Is that clear, everyone? We can derive n number of formulae. Charles' law, Boyle's law, universal gas equation, gravity, time period of pendulum. I read it in childhood, 7th standard. I think it is 2 pi root L by G, if I'm not wrong. 2 pi root L by G, the time period of a pendulum, right? Sometimes I think I should start teaching physics. I just love physics anyhow. So all these things, right? So does that make sense now, that if you just have a basic human understanding that what a word, what a letter signifies, you'll be able to create the formulae. I don't know why people try to cram up all the formulae, mug up the formulae just to crack a goddamn exam like IIT, JEE, or CAT. It's not required, guys. We need to become more knowledgeable. So all these exams are just cakewalks. Do you understand that? So all in all, you have to keep your eyes open, ears open, mouth open, all those sense organs, and try to make, have your brain open, the third eye, so that you can visualize, observe, analyze things. And if you walk that path of observation and the other path of what I'm showing you, you will never require remembering or cramming up any formula. So do you agree to that? Do you see? I just gave an illustration. I keep on giving these illustrations, and because the other formulae which are not dependent on this observation are majorly on binomial theorem, which we'll be discussing in algebra. Is that clear, everyone? Got it, all of you? Now, coming back to our agenda of variations. So now we are 30 minutes inside the session, and we are done with direct and inverse variations. All right. All of you got it? Tell me in the comments. Now, the relationship, coming to the next thing in which we understand that the variations, which is the relationships, are can be of multiple types. So whatever we have done here, like in distance, speed, time, whatever, the relationships are linear. What is linear? Linear, that the power of distance, speed, and time all was 1. There's a possibility that the relationship is of second degree or quadratic. That's a possibility, isn't it? That's a possibility. For example, someone says price of diamond is directly proportional to the square of its weight. See, so if I try to create a formula, P will be equal to KW square. I don't know what K is, so I'm just taking K as the constant of proportionality, arbitrary constant. But this is what the formula will be. We'll calculate K whenever there is a situation. But now, do you understand that is a quadratic relation? It can be cubic, it can be anything. It can be inverse also. It can be reciprocal as well. Did you understand? So based on these things, linear, quadratic, they can create multiple questions, and they can kind of confuse you, and you'll be thinking that, oh, every question has got a different formula. Every question has got a different analysis. Sir, what to do? Ma'am, what to do? Hey, friend, what to do? Everything has got a new thing. The entire chapter is of ratio proportions, but every question is new. I tell you what, no question is new. The logic remains the same. And these are the ways through which questions of ratios, proportions, variations can be changed. Do you understand it? Yes or no? Tell me in the comments. I think you guys are not interacting at all. I'm not enjoying it. Come on. Is that clear? Is that clear? Yes or no? Come on, say something. Yeah, say something. Okay. So now the next stage is we are 33 minutes into the session, and now we'll be doing what? You know what I'll be doing? We'll be doing the questions of ratios, proportion, variation, RPV. PRV, I'm writing. RPV. All the questions from 2017 to 2025, which ever appeared in CAT. All right. So this is going to give you the exact idea of what to expect. Let's see. Here we go. So, as you know, one thing, see, the answers are visible here, but it's okay. One thing, that for every question, I'll be giving you 2 minutes to solve. And then I'll explain you it in 3 minutes, and we keep on going accordingly. Okay. So now this session is also going to act as a topic-wise PYQ session. So as I told you that I'm coming on YouTube every alternate day, and I have made it a point to solve all the PYQs, in some cases not. Some difficult questions of which I make in the marathons. So this is what is going to help you in revising all the PYQs and expecting the exact kind of question what CAT throws at. So let's start here. The timer. Here's the timer. And the timer will be, as I told you. So 5 minutes I'm writing here. Why? Because in the first 2 minutes, you will be solving. And then the next 3 minutes, we'll be doing it so that there is no time wastage at all. Let's start here. Time up, guys. I'll just wait for 10 seconds more from my end because I can see. Okay, I think time is up. So it says in a class there were more than 10 boys. Okay, tell me something. How is this new kind of slides looking to you? The new slides. Are they better than the black background and white ink? Somehow I think it's better, and that is the reason that I, use this because this is very crisp and clear and highly understandable. Okay, so in a class there were more than 10 boys and certain number of girls. After 40% of the girls and 60% of boys left the class, the remaining number of girls was 8 more than the remaining number of boys. Find the minimum possible number of students initially in the class. Now, you think this is not ratio, right? But whenever there is percentage and all, it's going to be there. So let us say that the boys are B. Okay. Let's say we had B boys and G girls. Okay, just to make it simple. Aditya, but this is not blurred. Earlier one was, I think, somehow blurred, right? Tell me something. 40% of the girls left the class. 40% left. So how many are remaining? 60%. So I can write 60% to be 0.6 times G. And 60% boys left. So remaining are 40%, that is 0.4 times B. Now it says remaining number of girls was 8 more. So girls are more now. So 0.6 times G minus 0.4 times B should be equal to 8. Is the equation clear? Yeah, well, that happens. That is clear to all of you? Yes, Aditya. That is clear to all of you, right? Now we need to find the minimum possible number of students initially in the class. Now what to do here? I can do one thing. I can just divide this whole thing by zero point 0.2. Can I? If I divide this thing by 0.2, 0.2, so I'll get 3 times G minus 2 times B equal to 40. Is this clear? I got this when I divide by it. I divided by, I'll just write here. Divide by 0.2. Basically, I cancel out all the points. In a way, I cancel out all the points and then cancel out all the common factors. So this is what I have. 3G minus 2B is 40. Now it says there were more than 10 boys. So B here is greater than 10. That is given to us. B is greater than 10. B is greater than 10, guys. Okay. So now I can write 3 times G should be equal to 40 plus 2 times B. All right. Is that clear? Now, somehow, I need to plug in numbers in B, which is more than 10, and see if I get an integral number of girls, because we cannot have half girl, quarter girl, right? Fractional girls are not possible. Is that right, everyone? So when I saw Vanshad said 12 is the answer, Vanshad, I hope now you understood that 12 is wrong. Yes or no? 12 is definitely wrong. Do you want to do it again? I'll just give you everyone 30 seconds more to try and tell me the correct answer. Tell me correct answer now. 35. Okay. What is the value? So see, there are multiple ways to solve this question. One is like hit and trial, that I put in the values and see which one satisfies. So if I put B as 11, then 40 plus 22, 62, not a multiple of 3. So essentially, G should be 40 plus 2B whole upon 3. So 40 plus 2B should be a multiple of 3. That is what we need. So if I put B as 11, what do I get? We can do it mentally also. We can keep on, putting the values and getting the answer one by one. If I put B as 11, I get 40 plus 2 into 22 upon 3. It's a fraction, not possible. Okay, if I put B as 12, what do I get? 40 plus 24, 64 by 3, not possible. Put B as 13, let's put B as 13. What do I get? 2 13s are 26, 66 upon 3. So I get 66 upon 3, that makes it 22. So, Vanshij, is that what you got? So you got, okay, all of you got the same thing. Aditya got the same thing. B as 13 and G as 22. And you thought 35 is the correct answer. But you know what? You guys are wrong. Sorry. I'm just laughing at the kind of, what do we call it? This is the humor over here. So cat is such a humorous paper, it's full of comedy. What's the comedy over here? There's a huge comedy over here. You know what's the comedy? So a lot of you might think this question is very easy. This kind of question comes in CAT. You're like, okay, yeah, this I'll do, man. I'll do this. There's nothing new here, right? All of you think that. So you know what exactly happened over here. I'll tell you. When you put B as 13, you got G as 22. That satisfies the equation, but still it is wrong. Why? Because if you look here, 40% of girls and 60% of guys left the class. So 40% of 60% of 13 is 7.8. 40% of 22 is 8.8. 7.8, 8.8 people cannot leave the class, guys. That is impossible. And that is the reason why such questions come in CAT. Even if they look very easy on the surface, they are actually difficult because people tend to forget. All who are watching it, did you realize what kind of trouble we are in? Isn't it? So, how do that now? That is the major problem. Okay, so that is why there's a question of ratios. Okay, what is 40% in terms of fractions? It is equivalent to 2 by 5, right? And 60% is equivalent to 3 by 5, right? So to have a number of which 40%, 60% is integer, that number should be a multiple of 5. Yes or no? Right? So the boy should be a multiple of 5 and girls should also be a multiple of 5. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So let me assume here that B is equal to 5 times A and G is equal to 5 times B. Now that is how we'll be able to solve the question. Is that clear, everyone? Such a brilliant question, right? Now try doing it. So you have this equation, you have this. And now look at the numbers which are multiples of 5. So start doing it again and tell me the answer now. I'll again wait for 30 seconds. Let's see who does that. They should be multiples of 5. B is 25 and G is 30. Yes, that's right. That's absolutely right, Aditya. Others also do it. Okay, then. Cool. So, how to solve this question? How many of you are not getting the idea? Okay. So, we'll start with the same thing. Now, I've erased everything. I'll keep what is relevant to us. So the first thing that we got for B and G was how much? 13 and 22. Now, guys, you need to understand one thing very clearly. Here, 3G minus 2B is equal to 40. Now, this is a very important pattern which we're discussing completely in algebra, but you need to understand one thing for sure, that the value of G will change by the coefficient of B. Okay? So if G increases by the coefficient of B, B will decrease by the coefficient of G. And if G decreases by the coefficient of B, B will increase by the coefficient of G. So basically, G decreases by -2. Now, decrease by -2 is nothing but increase by +2. So let's do that. And whenever we get a multiple of 5 in both the cases, that will be your answer. So G increases by 2, B increases by 3. So would you able to remember that? Tell me in the comments, everyone, what I said, that the value of G will decrease by the coefficient of B, and inversely the value of B will increase by coefficient of G. So decrease by -2 is increased by 2 only. Okay. So 13 plus 2. The next value is 15. Here 22 plus, how much is that? 13 plus 2 is 15. Oh, sorry, 13 plus 3 is 16. I'm so sorry. 16, and this is 24. Not possible because we need both the values as a multiple of 5. 16 plus 3 is 19. Not possible. Plus 3 is 22. Plus 3 is 25. This might be possible. Right. Plus 2, 26. Plus 2, 28. Plus 2, 30. Wow. We got our happy space. 25 plus 30. So the answer is 55 as given in the C. I have written the answer in the right bottom of the slide. Cool. Chalo. Ready for the next question? Here we go. I start the timer. And here's the question. Time up. This one, I think, was an easy one. All right. Average salary of 5 managers and 25 engineers is rupees 60,000. Okay. All right. So what is average, by the way? Total upon number of observations. Okay. So here we have 5 managers and 25 engineers. So let's say the average salary of managers is M. So 5M will be total salary of managers. And that of engineers is E. So 25E. This must be equal to 5 plus 25 times 60,000. Is the equation clear, everyone? So 5M plus 25E is equal to this 30 into 60,000. I'm not multiplying it directly because I can take 5 common here and divide everything by 5. So I'll get M plus 5E. This becomes 6. 36 followed by 4 zeros. Is that cool? Hey, Shoaib, you are here. Hi. Okay. Now it says the second equation, if each manager got 20% hike, while engineer salaries stay unchanged, the average of all 30 would increase by 5%. Okay, cool. So the next equation will be 5 times 20% increment is like 1.2 times. So 1.2 times M plus engineers remain the same. This will be equal to how much? 5 plus 25 into 60,000 into 1.2 into 1.05. So we will just have to solve the equations and we get the answer. We want to find the average salary of the engineers. Okay. I don't think this is a very difficult one. I'll just erase the parts that we don't require anymore. Okay. So the first equation is there in red. Second equation, I'm just writing it in black. 5 into 1.2, 25 can take 5 common, right? So I'll get 1.2 times M plus 5 times E is equal to how much? This is 6 times 36 followed by 4 zeros into 1.05. I want the salaries of whom? I want the salaries of engineers, right? Okay, I'll remove this also. So I have two equations and I want to eliminate M. I want to eliminate M. All right, sure. So let's just multiply this whole thing by 1.2 and then subtract, right? So if I assume, let's say this to be first equation, this to be second equation, then I'll be able to get the value of E. How? Just subtract equation 2 from equation 1. If I do that, I can see 1.2 M gets cancelled out. All right. So what is left? This thing gets cancelled out. Do I require to write it? I don't think so. So what do I have? Here I have 1.2 into 5 is 6 times E. Here it's 5E. Oh, what exactly happened? There is some kind of issue which happened. What's the issue? Okay, there's no issue. 1.2 into 36,000. So 1.2 minus 1.05. There's no issue at all. Multiplied by 36 followed by 4 zeros. And that's all. That's it. So E will be equal to 1.2 minus 1.05 is how much? 0.15. 0.15 into 36 followed by 4 zeros. See, it's all about calculations now. 54,000 is correct. That is the answer. Cool. So I think all of you have got it. It's just that this question had a lot of calculations, but in CAT you already have the calculator. Okay then. By the way, are you using the faster calculation techniques? Like if you have noticed one thing, did you notice one thing? I did not multiply this beforehand because I somehow knew, that I can take things common. All right. That's the reason I did not multiply. I did not try to be over smart to multiply everything beforehand and then get stuck. Okay, now let's go to next one. Timer starts here. Time up. Okay, so here we go. Ratio of expenditures of Lakshmi and Meenakshi. So we have Lakshmi, we have Meenakshi. Okay, so whenever you want to write down things the way in the real cat, see, I can be really fast. You know that, right? I probably, and you might also be very fast. That you can solve this question in your mind in 1 minute. But just to make sure that you don't go wrong, just write things in a proper way. The proper way is making a 2 by 2 grid. So here I have income and here I have expenditure. As we know that in expenditures, income is 2:3. The ratio is 2:3. So basically I can write here as 2A and 3A. And the incomes ratio is 6:7. So I'll write 6B and 7B. I cannot have the same constant of proportionality of two different things for two different things, right? You can never have A in both the cases, like income and expenditure. So we always have ratios in the same kind of quantities. All right. So excess of income over expenditure is saved. Okay. So now we have savings also. Let's write savings as well. So here I have savings. Savings, we want to find, okay, ratio savings also given to us. That is given as 4:9. Okay, we'll look at it afterwards. That comes afterwards. So now the saving, what is saving this? Saving is basically income minus expenditure. All right. So the income minus expenditure, and we want to find Lakshmi to Meenakshi. So 6B minus 2A whole upon 7B minus 3A is given as 4/9. That is what given to us. We need to find the ratio of their incomes. I think I have gone wrong here, right? I have written, not wrong basically, I've written just these things. I'll just make it again. I just wrote the values in the wrong grid. I just write the right grid. So okay, I have Lakshmi here. I have Meenakshi here. Ratio of income of Lakshmi to expenditure of Meenakshi. Ratio of Lakshmi to Meenakshi. Was it correct? I don't know why removed it. I think it was correct only. I'll just write again. Don't worry. So expenditures of Lakshmi and Meenakshi. Lakshmi and Meenakshi. So this is 2A and this is 3A. Here it is 6B and here it is 7B. Now it's right. No, it's wrong. There's a problem here. There's a huge problem here. Okay. Lakshmi, in the first sentence, we have Lakshmi and Meenakshi for the expenditure. That is correct. In second, we have ratio of income of Lakshmi to expenditure of Meenakshi 6 to 7. Okay. The question is not misprinted. It's correct. Okay. No problem. So the ratio of income of Lakshmi, this to expenditure of Meenakshi, this is 6/7. All right. So this will be 7/6 times of 3A. Now, do you understand? This is correct now. So now I can write things properly. So income of Lakshmi is 7/6 times 3A. That is 7A/2. Now it's fine. No problem at all. Okay. Income of Meenakshi is not known. All right. Expenditure of Lakshmi is 2A. Expenditure of Meenakshi is 3A. Now it's fine. All of you got it? Clear? I'll wait for 10 seconds and I'll raise this grid. Good to go? Let's erase this. There's no misprint. It's perfectly fine. Now, it says the savings ratio is 4:9. The ratio of savings is 4:9. Yeah, Vanshaj. I think I have explained that, right? Okay, let me once more explanation. I'll just write it here. Don't worry. Wait. See. Expenditure of Lakshmi, let it be 2 times A, as the ratio is 2A. Expenditure of Meenakshi is 3 times A. Ratio of income of Lakshmi, IL, to expenditure of Meenakshi is to EM, is given as 6:7. So by this, I can find the income of Lakshmi, which will be 6/7 times EM. EM is 3A. Right? Which gives me income of Lakshmi as how much? Income of Lakshmi to expenditure of Meenakshi is 6/7. That's cool. So income of Lakshmi is 6 into 3, 18 times A upon 7. Is that clear now? Is that clear now? Everyone? Now, once we have done that, let's move on to the next ratio is 4:9. Savings. What are savings? So it says excess of income expenditure saved and ratio of savings is this 4:9. Okay. So IL minus EL upon IM minus EM. These are the ratio of savings. Saving is income minus expenditure. This is given as 4/9. Clear? Let's put the values here and get the answer. So IL is 18A/7. EL is 2A. IM, we don't really know. I'll just write IM here. EM is 3A. This is given as 4/9. So you can see here clearly that everything is in terms of A. I'll get IM in terms of A. We can just solve that. I'm removing this black ink from the left-hand side. Looks good. Okay. So now let's solve this. 18A/7. So I get 18 minus 14, that is 4A by 7 upon, and I can just multiply, I can cross multiply. Let's cross multiply. 9 comes here into 9 will be equal to 4 times IM minus 3A. So I get 36A/7. Let's bring 4 here, plus 3A as the income of Meenakshi. So I get 9A, 4 9s are 36, 9A/7. 30A by 7 is the income of Meenakshi. We got that right. 30A by 7 is the income of Meenakshi, and income of Lakshmi was already 18A by 7. We need to find the ratio of their incomes. So what is that? IL upon IM is 18A by 7 whole upon 30A by 7. A got cancelled, 7 got cancelled, 18 upon 30. 6 3s are 18, 6 5s are 30. Answer is 3 is to 5. That happens to be your answer. Is that clear, everyone? All right. Is that cool? Heard all of you? Okay. Cleared, everyone? Let's go to the next one. Timer starts here. Shoaib, did you get the answer? Don't worry, Vanshit. Time up. Okay. Let's do the solution now. So it says ratio of students in the morning and afternoon shifts was 13 is to 9. So let us have 13K and 9K students in the morning and the afternoon. After 21 students moved from morning to afternoon, from morning to afternoon. So 21 moves from morning. So in the morning, we'll be having 13K minus 21, right? But these 21 people joined the afternoon batch. So here we'll be having plus 21. So you know how you can go wrong in this question? If you subtract 21 from the morning, you need to add 21 in the afternoon. How many could miss that out? Now, the new ratio is 19 is to 14. Is that cool? Got it, everyone? Got it? What your answer is 9, Shoaib. Are you talking about the answer? Okay, let's see. Now we this is a hugely calculation based question. So I'll multiply 14 into 13. Would I take something common? I don't think so. 14 into 13 is how much? 169 plus 13. 182, 182, right? 182K minus, I wouldn't multiply 21 and 14 because 21 is common on both the sides, is equal to 19 nines are, how much is there? 171K plus 21 into 19. Okay, this is what I have. So 182K minus 171 is 11K. This will be equal to 21 common to 19 plus 14. See, this is where, lies the exact real mindset where you don't take things common so that, they'll be cancelled out. 21 into 33 and this 11 cancels out. So I got 3 here. So the value of K is 63. The value of K becomes 63. Perfect. Now I know how many people are there. So now new students joined in the ratio 3 is to 8. And ratio became 5 is to 4. Okay. So how many students do I have now? When K is 63, I need to find out. So 13K minus 13 into 63 is how much? 13 sixes are 78. And 39 there. 819. Is that right? Am I right? 13 sixes are 78 and 39. 819 minus 21. Okay. Upon 9 into 63 is how much? 9, 6, 54, 5, 6, 7 plus 21. Student joined in the ratio 3 is to 8. So here, let's say 3A people joined. Here, let's say 8A people joined. New ratio becomes 5 is to 4. Yeah, let's solve it and get the answer. Is that clear? We'll get the value of A. What's the value of A, by the way? 819 minus 21 is how much? 798 plus 3A whole upon 567 plus 1 is how much? 588. 588. Yeah. Plus 8A is 5 by 4. Let's cross multiply again, get the value of A. What's the value of A? Is it 9? 20, I think it will be 9. Yeah. The value of A becomes 9 if you solve it. So how many students joined? It was 3A plus 8A. So 3A plus 8A new students joined, which is equal to 11A. And A is 9. So the answer is 11 into 9, that is 99. Clear? I knew that, Aditya. I told you already there are some people who would have forgotten, adding 21. How many of you got this right? Okay, Shoaib, you would have found the value of A, right? Was that the case? One judge. I told you, and somehow I know that where you will go wrong. And I told you beforehand only, right? Aditya, one judge, Shoaib, and everybody who else is watching, that probably people will miss out on this. And that is how they do something wrong in confidence. A lot of calculations, right? Should we move ahead? Let's go to the next question. Sure. Let's solve this. शोएब से सेज आज भी याद है वो सुबह जब यही क्वेश्चन एक क्वेश्चन हुआ था कैट में। अच्छा, ये हुआ था या गलत हुआ था? I can see one thing clearly that you guys are not able to solve in 2 minutes. So let's make it 3 minutes. The moment the clock hits two, I'll start explaining. All right, time up. You need more time. I'll give you 1 more minute. All right, Shoaib. Okay, let's solve this. Very calculative, huh? Ratio of coins in boxes A and B was 17 is to 7. So let's say 17K were in box A and 7K were in box B. So 108 coins shifted from A to B. So in A, 108 coins got subtracted, and in B, 108 coins got added. Cool. Ratio became 37 is to 20. Again, a calculative question. How many more coins were shifted from A to B to make ratio 1 is to 1? To solve that, we just need to, kind of cross multiply. So 20 into 17, 340K, minus 20 into 108 is equal to, oh no, my pencil probably is getting discharged. 37 into 7 is how much? 259K plus 20 into 108. All right. So let's solve this. 340 minus 259 is how much? 81. K is equal to 10. It's 20 in both the cases? No, it should be something else. It's 37. Wow. I'm saying right. 108 taking common. I have 37 plus 20. Perfect. Now let's solve this. So K will be equal to 81. We can divide that, right? All of you got the answer? Yes, that's correct. 272 is the correct answer. 81. 9 nines are and 9 into, okay, 12. 4 by 3 is what I get. 4 by 3 into 57. 3 19s are, so K is 76. K is 76. Okay, cool. Rest, you know what to do. So put 76 here and try to solve it. So you will get the answer as 272. I think you can solve it. This question is similar to the previous one, right? You need to put K as 76 here, and then, how many more coin must shift. So basically the new equation will be something like this: 17 into 76. So 17K minus 108 minus X upon 7K plus 108 plus X should be 1 by 1. And you can solve this. You will get 272. Till then, I'm going to charge my pencil. Okay. But you will do the next question. Here we go. Aditya got the answer. Cool. This was easy one. All right. Time up. Five is to eight. All right. So money is divided among Pinu, Meena, Renu, and Seema. Pinu got 20% total. Let's say T is the total money. Pinu. I'm writing, let's say Pinu got P. Okay. To avoid any confusion. 20% of the total. 20% total is how much? 0.2 times T. Meena got 40% of the remaining. What is remaining, by the way? If 0.2 T goes to Pinu, remaining is 0.8 T. So 40% of 0.8 T, that is 0.32 T. Seema got 20% less than Pinu. 20% less than Pinu. That means 80% of what Pinu got. So 0.2 T into 0.8. That makes it 0.16 times T. I am writing everything in terms of T. Okay. So there is one more person. Renu. Renu is there. What would Renu get? Renu get total minus what other guys have got. So T minus 0.2 T plus 0.32 T plus 0.16 T. Let's find that out. 0.2, 0.52, 0.58, 0.68. This is 0.32 T. Now they are asking ratio of bonds right? Pinu and Renu. This is easy. 0.2 T is Pinu and Renu is 0.32 T. Did I do something wrong here? Just check the calculation. Did I do something wrong? What did I do wrong? Just check it once. Did I do it correct? Or was it wrong? Pinu and Renu. करेक्ट तो है मैं ऐसा क्यों बोल रहा हूँ डी एंड डी गॉट कैंसल आउट 0.2 अपॉन 0.32 इज 20 अपॉन 32 4 5s are 4 8s are huh it's right what happened to me it's correct 5 is to 8 is the answer now let's go to next one okay cat 25 is over by the way did you realize how many questions were there in cat 25 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 questions in cat 25 out of ratios only wow. So you understand how important this is this. In 24, we had only 22 questions from ratios. Okay, let's see. The timer starts here. चलो तुम लोग कभी तो बोलते हो. At least you guys sometimes talk. चलो let's solve this. Time up. Who did it? Let's solve this. A fruit seller has how many? 187 fruits. Is my screen visible? Is the screen visible to you? Yes or no? So a fruit seller has 187 fruits consisting of apples, mangoes, and oranges. Apples and mangoes are in the ratio 5:2. So let's say apples are 5K, oranges are 2K. After selling 75 apples, so 5K minus. So you know what? I'm writing the equations as I am reading the question. This is the best approach, the fastest approach. Just keep on writing the equations as soon as you read the question. 5 minutes, 26 mangoes. We don't know how many mangoes are there, and half the oranges. These are mangoes only. See what I did here? I read mangoes but wrote oranges. Well, no problem. Mangoes, oranges is what we don't know yet. No problem. Okay, now 26 mangoes, that means 2K minus 26 and half the oranges. If it is half the oranges, let me say that oranges are 2 times L. Now, why I took 2L? Why I took 2L? Because I need to take the half of it. So having half will be easy. So half the oranges are sold, remaining are L only. Ratio of unsold apples to unsold oranges. That means 5K minus 75 whole upon L becomes 3/2. Okay, so now I'll be able to find a relationship between K and L. Okay, let's solve this. So I'll get 10K minus 150 is equal to 3L, which gives me how much? 10K minus 3L is equal to 150. Let this be question number 1. Clear? We want to find about what? We don't want to find unsold fruits. Unsold fruits. So these are sold. So basically, you need to find this thing, no? This is what we need to find. Is that cool? Okay. Now, the other equation can be framed by adding these because we had 187 fruits. So 5K plus 2K, 7K plus 2L is given as 187. Let this be equation number 2. By using these two equations, I'll be able to solve the value for K and L, isn't it? And then I'll put the value here and get the answer. This is my answer. Is that right, everyone? Is that right? Cool. So let's multiply the equation 1 with 2 so that L becomes 2 and 2 with 3 and then add them up and get the value, right? So I need to find what's the value of K and L. What did you get? Should I do it? Okay, I'll do it. So first equation, if I multiply by 2, this thing by 2, 2 times equation 1 and then add 3 times equation 2, this L will be cancelled out, right? Because it becomes 6. So what do I get? 2 times equation 1, this becomes 20K minus 6L gets cancelled out here, plus 21K is equal to 300, 2 times this and 3 times this, 5421. 561 is what I get. 561. Am I right from the calculation? So 41K is equal to 861. If I solve it, I think K will be 21. 21 into 41 is 861. Yes, right. K is 21. We got the value of K. That is 21. If I got the value of K is 21, I can get the value of L also by putting it in either of the equations, either this or this. Let's put it here. If I put it here, 721 is how much? 147. 147. So L will be 20. Okay, nice. L is 20, K is 21. Let's put the value here. So 5K plus 2K, 7K, 147 plus 40 is 187, 187 minus 26, 161 minus 75. Okay, so we got the answer as 66. That is the correct answer. Perfect. All of you got this? Aditya, I think you did something wrong. Vanshaj, are the only person who are answering. Shoaib, what happened to you? What's your answer? Where's your answer? Let's go to next one. Hmm? Very nice question. This is a question of proper ratios. I talked about quadratic relations in ratios. At the very same time, some kind of optimization is also done here. Okay, Aditya. Okay, time up. It says price of a precious stone is directly proportional to square of its weight, which means simply P, if P is the price, is equal to a constant of proportionality K W square. Is this clear? This thing is clear to everyone. Are we happy? Now, Sita has a stone of 18 units. She breaks it into 4 pieces with distinct integer weights. Difference between highest and lowest possible of pieces is this. Find the price of original stone. By the way, weight is 18 initially, so price is 18 square is 324. 324K is what we have to find. We know what to find. Now, what is given to us? It says, it breaks into four pieces. We don't know the weight of those four pieces. So we need to take two cases in which in one we want to have maximum possible price, in one we want to have minimum possible price. So how to get maximum and minimum? For this, some kind of algebra is required. But let's say don't know the algebra. What to do now? What to do now? Moreover, they are distinct. That's also given to us. Now, I'll tell you what. For this kind of question, I'll just give you an example. Let us not have four weights, let's have only two weights. So let's say, I just want to show you something. Let's say total was, let's say it was 5 units, if at all 5 units. And I break it in two parts. One part is 1, other part is 4. That is one case. Other case is 2 parts and 3 parts. Add square of it. So 1 square plus 4 square and 2 square plus 3 square. Let's see what exactly happens. Let's say don't know the algebra, right? By the way, you're studying from me, you would be a pro in algebra within a year. But for now, let's see this. 16 plus 1 is 17. This is 4 plus 9, 13. So what do I see here? I see that when things are as far as possible, the sum of their squares is more when things are as close as possible. Did you understand that? So for the maximum value, I need to have things as far as possible. So I need to improve. And why it is happening? Because it's square. So in essentially speaking, there is one weight which should be very high because square increases the value a lot. So if I have 18 units overall, best way to break it is I'll keep the smallest one as low as possible because they're distinct. Let's have them as 1, 2, 3. That is the bare minimum. If it was not distinct, I would have taken 1, 1, 1. Do you understand that? If it was not distinct, I would have taken 1, 1, 1 for the first three, and the last one be 15. But in this case, 1, 2, 3, because they are distinct, right? And 1, 2, 3 is 6 plus 12. Now, this will be yielding the maximum result. For minimum, let's have them as close as possible. Now, how to do as close as possible? So there are 4 parts. 18 is sum. 18 upon 4 becomes 4.5. 4.5 average. Average should be 4.5 and things should be distinct. So 4.5 is the average. I can get 4 here, 5 here, 3 here, 6 here. So 3, 4, 5, 6. And now my problem is solved. Okay. So now, in the case of maximum, the price would have been sum of squares of these. So 1 square plus 2 square plus 3 square plus 12 square. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 9 is 14 plus 144 is 158. So 158 times k will be the maximum possible. And the minimum possible is 3 square is 9, 4 square is 16, 9 plus 16, 25, plus 25 is 50, plus 36 is 86. 86k is the minimum. So now they have written that the difference is 2,88,000. So 158k minus 86k is 2,88,000. If I solve this, what do I get? 14 and 58 is how much? 72. 72 fours are. So K will be 4,000. K is 4,000. We got the answer. 4,000. Let's put 4,000 here and get the answer. 324 into 4,000. 1296. 1296,000 will be the answer. 12,96,000 is the correct answer here. How many of you got? Nobody got that, but how many of you understood this now? I somehow just love algebra. Algebra is beautiful. It's way more beautiful than all the women I have seen, living or non-living, or historical, or even created by AI. Or all the men, or all the things. Because you know why? Because all the beauty can somehow be described by equations of algebra. That's the thing. That is the reason. Is that clear? Nobody is commenting anything. What happened, guys? Are you stunned? Are you numb? What exactly happened here? Aditya. Let's go to next one. 23. Cat 2023. I was planning to do till 2027, but I think the time is up. Do we need one more session for this? Tell me. Before I go, I want to ask you something. Those who are watching it and those who will be watching in future, what we do here for completing any topic, first I do a topic introduction in English on the grad school platform, then topic introduction in Hindi. These videos are 5 to 7 minutes each. You can watch either of them or both. Then there's a live session on grad school platform, which happened yesterday. Then you have a quiz. You also get the class PDF, the cheat sheet, a quick revision tool so that you can, kind of whenever you want to go to some particular aspect, you can, kind of revise it whenever you want to. This was what we were doing till last week. But this week, I think Aditya told me, sir, let's have one or two more classes. I said, don't worry, bro. I will take 6 classes. So every alternate day, what I'm doing a YT session. It's a kind of marathon in which I'll be majorly doing PYQs or some questions which are really difficult. Then based on this, be one more quiz, and then there'll be a doubt session. So these are the 9 steps through which we are finishing, finishing entire thing. Those who know it, welcome. Those who don't know it, you're also welcome. But those who know it and those who are here, tell me, is this working for you guys? I'm pretty sure I don't want to ask you whether you're happy or sad, you like it or not. I know you like it. It's not about being liked or being disliked. It's about what is necessary. This is the most necessary way to, train someone in be it VRC, LRDI, and one. That is what I feel. Now, do you feel the same? And do you think it's helping you? And do you think that you lag behind? Is the speed very fast? I know the session speed are not fast because somehow I have reduced my speed. You know that, right? But is this 9 steps for a topic? Is that lot to take? I have made sure that it won't be lot to take. It's not that you have to put in, 6, 7 hours every day. Just do the classes and study for 2 to 3 hours every day on the weekdays and 6 to 8 hours on the weekends. That'll be sufficient. Okay. Yeah. So different confidence is developing. Yes. See, the thing is, I'm pretty sure about one thing. I cannot increase the number of seats in IIMs or any top B schools, but there's one thing that I want to do. That is my ambition. Your ambition is getting into a B school. My ambition is increasing the cutoff. Okay. So somehow, I just want, it's not a tall claim. This very philosophical. That is something which the reason why I started grad school is simple, that I wanted somehow that people should feel that, uh, that if someone doesn't get into top B school after studying from me, then they should be missing it just by 1 or 2 mark, not more than that, because my aim is to increase the cutoff. And for that, I need your support. Okay. You need my support in getting into B school. I need your support to increase that goddamn cutoff. You just want to increase that cutoff. I want to have 99th percentile at 120 marks, not on 1992 marks. And that is what you guys have to do. And that can be done. That can be really be done. You follow all these 9 steps plus the Gradflix essays. By the way, I'm also thinking of, having some RC sessions based on Gradflix. That is what I'm planning to do soon. And I'll discuss it with you in some webinar that when to start doing that. So that'll be all, I think. See you in the next class. Take care. Bye bye. I'll see you on maybe Tuesday. Go and attempt the quizzes now. Bye. Take care. Good night. Throw some likes and love emojis, guys. Bye.